During the Second World War, flying over enemy territory was a hazardous endeavour. For the men of the US 8th Air Force and RAF Bomber Command, who day after day and night after night embarked upon operations against targets deep inside Hitler's Germany, the risks were indeed great, and many paid the ultimate sacrifice. Indeed, over 55,000 men of RAF Bomber Command would be killed in action during the Second World War. The only service in which an individual stood a worse chance of survival was in the U-boat arm of the Kriegsmarine. During their operations over Germany, the men of RAF Bomber Command could count upon the dark shroud of night to provide some sort of protection. For the airmen of the US 8th Air Force, however, things were different. Embarking upon daylight bombing operations, they had to contend with German fighter defences and anti-aircraft fire, all of which could be clearly seen. There was, however, another hazard, one which is often overlooked, the hazard posed by friendly bombers. This video looks at one such example which had tragic consequences. The B-17 Flying Fortress, serial number 42315 and more commonly referred to by her crew by her nickname Miss Donna Mae, was an aircraft of the 331st Bombardment Squadron, part of the 94th Bombardment Group. The aircraft had been delivered to Cheyenne, Wyoming on the 16th of November 1943, and in December of that year was flown to Britain to join the 8th Air Force, where she landed at Prestwick, Scotland on the 19th of December 1943. On the 20th of December 1943, Miss Donna Mae joined the 331st Bomb Squadron at Bury, St Edmunds. 1944 saw the Allied bomber effort directed towards paving the way for the Allied invasion of Europe. February 1944 would see the US Army Air Force launch Big Week, the aim of which was to destroy the German Luftwaffe. At the same time, operations were undertaken to destroy German munitions factories and transportation hubs to both reduce Germany's capacity to wage war and to create confusion as to where and when the Allies would launch their invasion. On the 19th of May 1944, the 8th Air Force laid on a raid to the German capital, Berlin. Included in the order of battle were a number of aircraft of the 94th Bomb Group. Among the aircraft of the 94th Bomb Group assigned to the mission was Miss Donna Mae, with her crew of 11, comprised of the pilot, Marion Reed, co-pilot, Lou Carter, navigator, Roger Tessier, bombardier, Stan Duffield, flight engineer and upper gunner, Lee Kiefer, radio operator, John Boone, ball turret gunner, Ludwig Huth, waist gunners, Jim Callagher and Dick Brennan, the tail gunner, Willard Christensen, and observer John Davis. Taking off during the morning hours of the 19th of May, Miss Donna Mae formed up over England and set off across the North Sea for Germany. As they flew towards Germany, the bombers did so in group formation intended to allow the gunners of the aircraft to provide mutual protection. The aircraft in the formation were at staggered heights to avoid providing an easy target for anti-aircraft gunners on the ground. The following extract from an official production provides an explanation of how the formation looked.
This is how the group looks from above. The lead plane of the high squadron flies even with the lead plane, second element, lead squadron. Here is the group as an enemy fighter pilot sees it, from head on. The first element of the lead squadron is stacked high left and low right. The first element of the low squadron is stacked high right and low left.
Over Berlin, the aircraft began their bomb runs. Opening the bomb bay doors, the navigator began to peer through their bomb sights, looking for the target with glances made towards the lead aircraft, so that all aircraft would release their bombs in one go. As the B-17s continued their bomb run, one B-17 of the 94th Bomb Group, flying above Miss Donna Mae and nicknamed Trudy, began to drift out of formation. Suddenly, the call, "Bombs away," went out over the radio, and the bombardier began to release the bombs. Peering through his bomb sight as he did so, Trudy's bombardier saw Miss Donna Mae in his bomb sight. Airmen looked on as bombs from Trudy fell down, one of which struck Miss Donna Mae, tearing off the left horizontal stabilizer and part of the tail section. The tragedy was captured in a series of photographs taken from aboard Trudy. Having been hit by bombs, Miss Donna Mae entered a dive seconds later and began to spiral as she fell earthwards out of control. The airmen aboard Trudy and in other B-17s which witnessed the tragedy watched Miss Donna Mae in her death spiral, all the while praying for parachutes to emerge. It would have been difficult for the men of Miss Donna Mae to exit the aircraft. At one moment, they were releasing their bombs with no enemy fighter opposition and minimal anti-aircraft interference. The next, their aircraft was out of control in a violent spin. The violence of the spin broke off one of the wings of the B-17, which crashed on Oderberger Strasse at Berlin, killing all 11 men on board. The tragedy of Miss Donna Mae serves as a reminder of how dangerous an operation could be for airmen, even when the enemy was not present. Many thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more updates, like and share. You can also help to support the channel at Patreon. Details are in the description box below. If you enjoyed this content, why not also check out my Substack page for more unique historical insights and articles. A link to the page is in the description box below.